Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today I decided to make a video, a very simple video for those who have some business idea but you don't want to dive deep into calculations. You just want to test, just make a basic test how profitable your business idea is. So you actually need not a business plan, not a financial model, just some kind of tool to see how generally what is the revenue, generally what are the expenses, what is the profit, what is the profitability, roughly how much financing you need. And in this video I will create this kind of tool from the very beginning till the end. So I hope you enjoy this video. If this information will be useful for you, you may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends who have some business ideas. We can also create financial models for your unique business ideas, so we can help you with that. So let's start building this tool. So as you can see, I have empty Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So let's start with formatting the cells. So I will make some general preparations. So let's start. So first of all, let's create the library of months for our timeline of our project. Then we have the list of years inside our financial projections. So let's say we have 10-year horizon for our business idea. So this will be the color 2023
or 2024, so we can just set up the basic data here. So first let's start with the average check. So average check, for example, will be $20. So this is the input. So we can, for example, we will produce a product, or we can give a service. So this will be the price of one service, or the price of selling price of one product.
So then we also have the direct expenses. So direct expenses in average check. So this value will be in percentage. For example, let it be, for example, first of all, this will be percentage format of the cell. So let it be, for example, 30% or inside the average check. So this is also the input. So we color it with blue. Then direct expenses in average check in dollars. In dollars will be this multiplied on this. Then we are moving to fixed expenses. So in our business idea, we have expenses that are stable, not depending on how many products we produced or how many services we gave to people. So these expenses are stable from month to month, and the next block of inputs will be devoted to this group of expenses. So for example, here can be the rent payments, for example, then advertising, office expenses, and so on. So these are fixed expense item. Then dollar per month. So fixed cost item 1. So here we will name our fixed cost items. Here we will just set up the values. Copy items totals. So let's create a total of that. So these are the inputs, so we color it with blue. Then we set up the salaries. Person, then amount of people, position, let's say position here, amount of people on this position, then salary per person on this position, then totals. So position 1. So here we will describe all the positions that we have. So for example, chief is executive officer, chief accountant, manager, and so on, different types of position. Here we specify how many people on each position do we have. Then what is the salary of one person on each position. Then we calculate the totals. So now, let me just change colors a little bit. I want to make all totals yellow. So payroll, so these are the inputs, so I color it with blue. So this is the payroll. Now the next block So here we have fixed expenses, payroll, then we have investment plan, so we have investment item, dollar, then here we will place investment item 1. So here we have the list of items that we are investing in during the investment stage, before operating activity starts, before we get the first revenues. So here we will place the actual values. So here we place what we invest in and how much we invest in before we get the revenues. Then investment plan totals, so these are the inputs, so I'm coloring them also with blue. Then we should mention the amount of goods or services that we sell per month. Well, let's say it's sales plan units per month, sales plan units per month. So let's say it will be 5,000 units. So this is also the input, so we color it with blue. Then we are describing when we start operating activity. Operating activity start. Operating activity start. Month, year. So this is the next block of inputs. So month will be data validation list. Month we are picking from this list. For example, we want to start in May. This is the input, so we are coloring it with blue. Then we move to the year, specifying the year, data validation list, picking the year from the list that we've created, from the library that we've created a little bit earlier. So here will be 2022. Format cells. So this is also the input, so I'm coloring it with blue. Then let's assume that we will not. So for example, here we have the sales plan of 5,000 units per month, But for example, let's assume that we will be reaching this sales plan step by step from the first month of operating activity, because you will be able to see, even if our financial modeling, financial planning tool is very rough, it is not so accurate, but still we need to calculate roughly, trying to be as close as possible to the amount of financing that we need, because during the first several months of operating activity you may face some operating losses that you will also have to add to investment plan expenses and get a total of real amount of financing needed for your business idea. So the real amount of money that you will need will be this investment stage expenses plus operating losses, when your expenses during the first several months of operating activity will be higher than your revenues on the first month of several months of operating activity. That's why what we will do, we will create a new block of inputs. We will call it reaching planned sales plan. And so, for example, let's say that we will have the first 12 months of operating activity for that to reach this goal. So this is the period. So more colors, for example, let it be like this. Okay. And so the first month of operating activity is May, year is 2022, format cells. So now we'll have to extrapolate this story to the right. May, I will go here, create a very simple table here, January, then January is the first month, so I will use VLOOKUPs. So I'm searching this value in this table. I will need the second column, will need exact match, press enter. So this is May is the 5th month inside the typical year. If I press here, for example, select here October, this will be 10. So let's get back to May. So then writing a very simple formula, if this one equals to 12, then we starting a new year, otherwise we are adding 1 to the previous value. So here we will be extrapolate. So here we will be extrapolating this value. So then we will also use VLOOKUPs. So we will be searching this value in this table. In this table we will need the second column and exact match. I will freeze this table. So now I will add here months. So now we have June here. Now let's extrapolate this formula to the right. Here we have months. So if I change here, for example, to September, we will see here months changing. Then let's do the exercise with the year. So if this value equals to 12, then we are adding 1 to the previous year, to the value of the previous year. Otherwise we pick the same value. So here we can see the magic. When the year grows from 2022 to 2023, if for example we start in November, we can see here 2022 switching to 2023. So what's next? Now we have to sales plan reaching, sales plan reaching. So here we will be placing the inputs in percentages. So for example, the first month will be 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 97, 99, and we're extrapolating, for example, 100%. So view, let's freeze the first column. Sales plan reaching in percentages, then sales plan reaching in units. So this will be the parameter. So here I will place a formula, very simple formula. So I will be taking our sales plan. I will take the sales plan and multiply sales plan and multiply on the percentage of reaching of this sales plan. So during the first month of operating activity, we will have just 10% of our sales plan. This will be 500 services or 500 products sold during the first month of operating activity. Then we have 1000, 1500, 2000, and so on. So this is the way how we are reaching our sales plan. So let's a little bit change to this column. So what's next? Now we have to let's switch it to May. So now let's create the timeline. It's time to put all our data inside the timeline. So we have a January. So we have 10-year timeline. So I know that this will finish in DQ column. C DQ. So this will be, then the first year of our projections will be 2022. Let's change the format, number, use, don't use. So November, December. Then we are adding 1 year to previous year. Then October, November, December 2023. Then I'm taking this value and just simply copy 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 2030, and 2031. So this is our optimized time if we want to start our project from for example 2024.
Here we have new values, and here we have our project starting from 2024. Everything automized, we don't need to
retype and so on. So let's go back, set up here 2022. Then let's create some formatting for the years to make us easily swim inside the model. So November, December, let's copy formats. So what's next? So parameter, more colors. So this is the timeline. So first of all, let's move to the Microsoft Excel magic finally. So first we need to find what is the moment when we start operating activity. Operating activity start. So if and this value equals to this value, and this value equals to this value, then we put 1, otherwise 0. So here we have 1. Now let's create the line where we will link all the expenses, all fixed expenses, payroll expenses, meaning that this is if we put 1 if we have an operating activity at the moment, and we put 0 if we don't have operating activity at this moment. So later we will link the majority of the expenses to this line that we are building at the moment. So 1 means that we have operating activity, and 0 that means that we are not in operating activity stage at this time. Let's count the months of operating activity, because for sales plan, for reaching the planned sales plan, for the first month of operating activity, we will place only 10% of revenue, then 20, 30, 40 and 50. So that's why we need to count months of operating activity. Then so we need 1 month prior to the start of operating activity so this will be our investment plan. So investment stage. So the investment stage will be 1 month prior to the moment when we start operating activity. So we put this value 1 month earlier. Just a moment, 1 month, 1 month earlier. So we start operating activity in May, so investment stage occurs in April. So now let's sales plan, do the sales plan, sales plan units per month. So if this one equals to 0, then 0, otherwise if this value equals to 1, then we will put this value. Then we are creating conditions if 2, 3, 4, let's close the brackets. So now let's adjust the formula. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and if it is the operating month is more than 12, we are extrapolating. Then we are putting B. If 2, then C. So have a look here. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and N. Then I'm pressing enter, and now we will see how sales plan moves to the timeline. I'm extrapolating this formula. So now we can see that sales plan starting from May and slightly growing step by step, reaching the value of 5,000 on the 13th month of operating activity. So that's why somewhere here the project may have some operating losses that we will be able to see. Then so let's finish this block and move to money. So revenues, expenses. So first of all, let's calculate revenues. So revenues dollar per month. Dollar per month. So we are taking sales plan and multiply it on the average check here. So this is the revenues. Then we move to direct expenses. So we take the revenues. So we will take sales plan and then we will multiply it on the amount of direct expenses inside the average check. So now we are gathering the inflows and outflows. Let's extrapolate the story. So then let's move to payroll. So we have this line, operating activity 0 or 1, and going to the payroll. So we have payroll, totals for payroll. So these are the revenues. Let's color them with green. Direct expenses and payroll are expenses. Let's calculate them with red. Then fixed expenses. Fixed expenses, we will take payroll, fixed expenses. We will take operating activity, this line, and multiply on the amount of fixed expenses totals here. Then direct expenses, payroll, fixed expenses. Then what else is missing? Direct, fixed, payroll. Let's add some taxes maybe. So taxes, the value taxes as percentage of revenues. As percentage of revenues, for example, it will be, let it be 12%. Taxes, fixed expenses, then taxes. So we are freezing this cell. So revenue, direct expenses, fixed expenses, payroll. Then let's add investment plan. Investment plan. So this will be investment stage. Investment stage multiplied on the amount of investment, on the total for investment. Here it is. So before we start operating activity, we have an investment stage. So these are also expenses. So if we create a very simple totals very simple cash flow, we will create revenues, expenses, cash flow. So this is a very simple cash flow statement. So result from operating activity, result from investment activity, then equity brackets my money from pocket, let's say. Very simple, my money from pocket. Then result from financing activity, then cash balance at the beginning, cash balance at the beginning of period, then cash balance at the end of period. This will be the end of cash flow statement. So these lines will be yellow, these lines will be yellow, this one will be like this, cash balance. So this line will be for inputs, this line will be for inputs, so the result from operating activity, we will take this value where revenue minus direct expenses minus payroll minus fixed expenses minus taxes. So this will be the result from operating activity. The result from investment activity, I will take minus and add this line. So this will be minus inside investment stage. Then for result from financing activity, I will just place map this line, my money from my pocket, my own pocket. Then let's extrapolate these values. So let's just remove values from this line. Then we will have 0 at the beginning, at the cash balance at the beginning of the first month. Then cash balance at the end of the period will be operating activity plus investment activity plus financing activity plus cash balance at the beginning of the period. Then we are putting this value here. It becomes, this ending balance becomes the starting balance for the next month. Then I'm extrapolating this formula to the right. Then I will extrapolate both of these cells to the right. So and now we can see, for example, here we have some operating losses, and then we have profits. So that's why we need financing not only during the investment stage in April, but also we need some financing during the operating activity stage. So we have operating losses during the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, during the first 7 months of operating activity, and then we get profits. So we can what we can do, first of all, we can create a very simple table, profit, revenues, expenses, profit. So here I will place revenues, expenses, profit, profitability, so the revenues I will take from here, total expenses this line, this, this. We're not taking the fundamental investment stage expenses. Profit will be this line minus this line. Profitability will be profit divided by the revenues. This will be in percentage format. If error, we will put here 0. So I will extrapolate these formulas to the right. So the first, so this is very simple table that will show us what is going on with our business idea. So this is the revenue, these are the revenues, these are total expenses, this is the profit, this is profitability, and you can look how your business roughly breathes during its operating activity. So we can see that during the first month of operating activity we have losses, then we have profits, and so the general profitability is 15%, but it's the business reaching this profitability, it takes time, business to reach these values, and you can see how it's reaching its planned values of the sales plan. So now it's time to calculate how much financing we need to start this business. I will just automate this story. I will put this value here. So financing needed. So I will calculate, so I will take the result from operating activity plus this value plus this value. I'm not taking financing, then I will extrapolate this formula, I will make it cumulative. Then when I'm done with that, I will find minimum value inside this period, inside the whole timeline. So I need to find a maximum negative value, or simply minimal value. So I'm searching. So this is the maximum value is this. Then I'm just going here, put equals, then minus sign, and add this value here. Press enter and let's see the magic. So now we have here mathematical zero. So we have we take 200,000 from our pocket, then we start spending this money on this, then on this. We can see here how the amount of money is melting, disappearing, then zero, and then the project starts generating its own cash finally, and then the cash balance is growing cumulatively. So we can see here, so now we know that we need this amount of money to start the business. we know what is the revenue, what are the totals for expenses, what is the profitability. So now we need to know what is the payback period. So the payback period is we're calculating if this value is less than 0, then we put 1, otherwise 0. So when reds turn to blacks in line 111, this means that we have a payback. Then let's create total for this line. So now we know that the payback period is 23 months. We can put it a little bit closer. So payback period money needed so the payback period is we are taking from here, money needed we are taking pulling from here, then so these are this is the important information. So then we can create a diagram of a simple payback period of our business idea. I'll just put the data from here. So let's do the following. So 22, 23, 24. Let's create a diagram of that. So now let's create a diagram. Let's create a diagram. So let's create a diagram. Insert. So I will just align.
Add major lines, format.
Select data, edit. So we will add the header from the table that we've just created. Okay. this will be like this. And what we can do now, we can go to the top and create very simple summary for our business idea. So what we need first of all as a summary, so we will put the data from here. So revenues, expenses, profitability. So the revenues I will pick, so I'll just take the last month of operating activity. I will take it from here, revenues, then total expenses, then profit, and profitability, this divided by revenues. So this is the percentage format. So this is the summary. This is the summary of our story. Then for example, we can copy this diagram from here to the top to see the picture of our business idea a little bit closer when we will be playing with numbers. So for example, now we can adjust to see what will happen. For example, if some inputs will be changing, for example like this, we can see how everything is changing. So profit, revenues, so this will be dollar per month, copy, paste. So for example 15, for example 20%. So we can see, for example, what will happen if some expenses will grow, what will happen if, for example, payroll will grow. So we can easily play with the data. We can see, for example, if the amount of financing will grow, if the investment stage expenses will grow, for example. So here we can play with any inputs and see how all these affects what affects the payback period. affects the payback period, the amount of financing that we need, revenues, expenses, profitability. So I just decided to create a very simple tool that you can use to and create yourself to test your business idea. It's not actually business plan. It's not a very complicated financial model, but believe me, it is 80% enough to explain yourself briefly that this business idea worthwhile trying to just make a decision to calculate it more in more details, to persuade yourself to get into this business. So this is a good start to gather the data, gather the information inside one environment, in one Microsoft Excel environment, to figure out roughly what are the revenues, what are the expenses, what are the investment, how much roughly amount of money we need to start the business, what will be generally the payback period. So this is a tool that will be very helpful for you, and you will know lots and lots of interesting things. Believe me, when you start calculating your revenues, expenses, you will finally get acquainted with your business idea, with your project. You'll rethink lots and lots of things. 99% you will rethink the business concept you are currently thinking of, because usually when people start creating tools like this, they start thinking more, they bring their business idea to reality. They put off pink glasses and just start thinking more critically towards their business idea. So that's why I decided to show you this very simple tool. You may call it business plan, financial model, whatever, but this is quite a helpful thing to put all your today's numbers into some environment which will show you roughly what's going on with your business idea. So maybe this video is useful for you. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. So see you guys in next videos. Thank you and bye.